Falcons Nation, tell me something. Have you ever imagined finally having that dominant pass rusher who can transform our defense once and for all? Well, there's a name that's been catching fire behind the scenes in the draft, and he could fall right into Atlanta's lap. But hold on, because along with this incredible talent, there are also some controversies that are causing a stir. Is it worth betting all your chips on him? Let's discuss all of this now. Before continuing, be sure to leave a like, because that really helps the channel to bring more and more news and hot analysis about the Falcons. And I want to know your opinion in the comments. If you were in the board's shoes, would you pick this guy in the draft or pass on the chance? Answer me. Now, let's talk about one of the most polarizing draft prospects linked to Atlanta. If you've been following the draft buzz, you already know that the Falcons desperately need help on the defensive front. And one name that keeps coming up, Marshall edge rusher Mike Green. The guy was an absolute wrecking ball last season, 17 sacks, leading all of college football. But his history comes with some controversy, and that's exactly what he addressed at the NFL Combine in Indianapolis. Green faced a barrage of questions from reporters about off-field allegations that have dogged him for years. He didn't shy away. He answered them head-on, denying any wrongdoing multiple times. And if you ask him, the entire narrative surrounding his past is fueled by misinformation. There's a lot of talk out there, and it's just a bunch of people who don't really know what really happened, Green said. I've never done anything wrong. I've never been accused of anything. My main focus right now is just telling these teams everything they need and want to know. Now, let's break this down. There were two separate incidents in Green's past, one in high school, which police investigated and ultimately closed without charges, and another at the University of Virginia. After the 2022 season, Green left UVA following a suspension related to an anonymous assault allegation. However, he insists he was never questioned and chose to transfer to Marshall for a fresh start. He says he holds no ill will toward Virginia, but felt it was best for his career to move on. And let's be honest, his time at Marshall couldn't have been better. He dominated the Sun Belt Conference, earned All-American honors, and was named a perennial team captain. The guy was an absolute nightmare for offensive linemen, racking up 59 pressures and 32 run stops, one of the best defenders in all of college football. But here's the big question, will these past allegations hurt his draft stock? Green doesn't think so. In fact, he pointed to his rise in mock drafts as proof that teams believe in him. Throughout this process, I've been climbing higher and higher. And that should tell you everything you need to know, Green said. I've been following the process and telling the truth. So I have no concerns. That's a bold statement from a guy who's seen his name rise into the top 10 conversations in some draft projections. But for the Falcons, who currently hold the 15th pick, the decision isn't just about talent, it's about risk versus reward. Do they take a chance on an elite pass rusher who could finally give them the edge presence they desperately need? Or do they avoid the potential PR headache that could come with it? Green certainly doesn't see himself as a liability. He wants teams, and the public, to focus on what he brings to the field. He prides himself on being a mentor to younger players, someone who leads by example. And for those who doubt his character, he has a message: ask the people who actually know him. You can ask anybody that knows me how I am as a person, Green said. The first one in, last one out. I help guys. I'm a dude that just stays out the way. I'm a dude that is just committed to playing the game of football. And let's talk about his game for a second. Green isn't just a pure speed rusher. He's got power, technique, and a motor that doesn't quit. He's been working on his coverage skills, something he didn't get to showcase much at Marshall, and believes he has even more untapped potential. Now, as Green gets ready for his pre-draft workouts at Lucas Oil Stadium, all eyes will be on him, not just for his 40-yard dash time or bench press reps, but for how he carries himself through this entire process. NFL teams are going to dig deep, looking for any red flags. But if you ask Green, he's got nothing to hide. It might be a little talk out there about me not being able to do certain things, Green said. But when you cut on the film and watch all 700 plays, you'll see sparks and highlights of the way I play. So, Falcons fans, here's the big question. Should Atlanta take the risk and draft Mike Green if he's available at number 15? Is his talent worth the baggage? Let me know what you think in the comments. If you've been following the NFL for the past few seasons, you know that the Philadelphia Eagles have perfected a short yardage play called the tush push or brotherly shove. The play has been nearly unstoppable, boasting a 93% success rate, and some teams, including the Green Bay Packers, are actively working to ban it. Well, guess what? Falcons head coach Raheem Morris is right there with them. Speaking at the NFL Combine, Morris didn't hold back. "It should have been illegal 3 years ago," he said with a laugh. "No, the tush-push play, I've never been a big fan. There's no other play in our game where you can get behind someone and shove them, pull them out, do whatever." Morris went on to say that he never understood why the play was legal in the first place and made it clear that he'll be among those voting to outlaw it. But will his voice, along with the Packers and other opponents of the play, be enough to push the rule change through? That remains to be seen. Of course, there's also the argument that teams simply haven't figured out how to stop the play, and some might say banning it is just a case of jealousy. After all, the Eagles have mastered the technique better than anyone. Even the Buffalo Bills, with their massive offensive line and Josh Allen under center, only converted the play at a 78.4% success rate last season, far behind the Eagles. So, is this really a play that needs to be banned? Or do other teams just need to figure out how to stop it? That's the big debate going on around the league, and Falcons fans, we want to hear from you. Should the tush-push be illegal, or should teams just get better at defending it? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Now, shifting gears to another major story, free agency is right around the corner, and one of the biggest decisions the Falcons need to make involves starting center Drew Dalman. Dalman has been a key part of Atlanta's offensive line for the past 4 seasons, and his value is skyrocketing as he heads into free agency. ESPN has him ranked as the top free agent center, and analysts believe he could land a contract worth over $13 million per year. Falcons general manager Terry Fontenot spoke about Dalman's future at the Combine, emphasizing that internal players like him are always the first priority when it comes to roster decisions. "We know he's a really good player," Fontenot said. "He's been a big part of our offensive line for a long time, but like Drew or any other unrestricted free agent, we have to have those conversations internally." Dalman has played in 57 games for Atlanta, starting his last 40 appearances. He's been a strong run blocker, ranking 5th among centers last season, and allowed just 2 sacks across 554 snaps. But injuries have been a concern. He missed 8 games in 2024 with an ankle injury and 3 games in 2023 for the same reason. Dalman himself hasn't given any hints about his future. When asked about it during locker cleanout day in January, he kept it vague, saying his time in Atlanta had been an amazing experience and that he hoped it would continue. The Falcons are reportedly interested in keeping him, but with his rising market value, it won't be an easy deal to finalize. So, Falcons fans, what do you think? Should Atlanta break the bank to keep Dalman, or is it time to look for a more affordable option in the draft or free agency? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss an update on your Atlanta Falcons. Go Falcons!